Fashion has always had a data problem. There's no consistency, there's no standardization, there's no kind of legal requirements around the standardization of the data. So it's well known for the inconsistency and problems it creates. But it's increasingly a huge problem. Because of the lack of standardization, you have lots of fashion items sold in lots of countries by lots of different types of retailers. And so different retailers call the same things different items, or if you don't have an understanding of why the integrity of that data matters, you might have junior merchandisers, junior buyers who are calling the same feature something very, very different. And that lack of standardization is now starting to cause a real problem. Fashion is also complex because you have a very high turnover of products. So typically 30% of products are new every month. And so if you don't have a process which can deliver good, consistent data across all of those products in time, you end up falling foul of lots of areas of driving value for the business. The other area is fashion's very subjective, it's very emotional. So even though retailers focus on the physical data or the data that comes from the merchants or the buyers, that's not actually how the customer thinks about those products. So understanding style and occasion, how it flows, how it makes you feel, that's what's important. That's the missing link. So the mission, the context, and the intent is really important. And then the added complexity is depending on how products are shot or the campaign images, sometimes products are pinned. So understanding how you generate really good quality data with an understanding of what matters for the customer is really important. So in general, it is a huge problem and a huge cost for fashion retailers. And it's really important not only to have the data required by the buying and merchant teams, but also in terms of what's important to the customer as well. So there are a number of ways that fashion retailers can start to overcome these challenges. So over the years, we have learned that there are some domain specific, so really understanding the domain that you work in. So in our case, this is fashion. So of course, it's important to understand the merchant and the buyer language, but actually understanding how do you make someone look and feel amazing. So working with domain experts, which from the customer point of view is probably stylists who really understand why is it that they can dress me better than I can dress myself? What is it that makes these items look good on me versus those items which don't? So really adding that level of domain expertise to understand what are the key trends this season? What occasions are those products relevant for? If I'm looking at my white shirt today, this is for me, for my daughter, for my mother, for my grandmother, we will all want to see this white shirt in different ways, for different contexts, for different emotions, for different occasions. So all of that needs to be understood. So bringing in some domain expertise where you're not just relying on the generic LLMs is key. But also I think if you're looking at visual search has come on leaps and bounds, and we test all the latest models all the time. But the problem is, unless the training data is excellent, you are building garbage in, garbage out. So it is absolutely essential that the training data that you're using to train the LLMs is good. Otherwise, if maybe you've got a product with 23 physical features, and maybe it's 70% accurate, which feels good, but actually 70 times 70 is 49%, 49% times 70 is 35%. So very quickly, you get to a point where the quality of the data is very poor and you can't actually deliver the level of accuracy that you need. And then I think you need to have, with fashion, because it's a trend-based industry, it's a living, breathing taxonomy. So high-heel trainers weren't a thing, now they are. Barrel jeans weren't a thing, now they are. So it has to be a living, breathing thing, and you have to be constantly evaluating and evolving that. And trends come in and out, black, green last summer, or Barbie core, understanding how you need to apply those trends in real time to your products is really important. So there's lots of things that brands can be doing to make sure that the quality and consistency and depth and breadth of that data covers not just the raw physical data, but the stuff the customer actually comes to buy, which is how they want to feel about how they look. So I cannot tell you how important having great quality data is to a retailer. It is the It is the foundation of everything they do. Everyone's talking about AI, there's Gen AI, LLMs everywhere, but if the quality of the data isn't good enough, it doesn't matter what AI you put on top, you're just going to have a bunch of garbage coming out. So I always talk about get your data house in order first and then build the smarts on top. And if your data house isn't in order first, you will never get to that point. So this isn't just about your buying and merchandising, it's about the customer lens too. So once you have built a way where you've got the human in the loop, the visual search on its own or the visual recognition isn't good enough. So once you've got that process and you've got that clean data and you're constantly checking and evaluating and validating, then literally the world is your oyster. So whether it's in paid search, making sure you've got you understand that particular item, not that it's just a shirt, it's the fact that it's a tweed shirt, or what is it that's most important about that item that makes it interesting to the customer, and putting that into your paid search ads. And in agentic search, now I cannot tell you, it's so important. So we have been trained to search in the most basic, simple way. We're looking for black dress. That's not really how we search. We go into a store and say, look, I'm going to a wedding. I want to look glamorous but not too sexy. I want to cover my boobs or whatever it might be. And actually understanding that's the language we typically use. And so that is the language that needs to be embedded on your website. That customer lens has to be there, so that as these agents are going around looking for products for me to wear, it's understanding how to read that language in the context of me, the customer. So that's key. And then understanding that fashion is about style guidance, it's about inspiration. So if you're looking to create personalized outfits, not only do they have to represent and deliver on the brand DNA, but they also have to give all of us the guidance and inspiration to say, okay, if I want to buy that shirt, how on earth do I wear it? And what do I wear it for? And what kind of event? So all of that language and the context and the mission need to be understood for those automated personalization components to exist well. And then the other key bit is the buying and merchandising. So if you're buying a dress and you want to understand your size ratios, again, having that customer lens of the data gives you so much more predictability about what volume to buy, what size curves to buy, and you will see at least a 3 to 5% profit margin improvement. I mean, it's just vast. It's everything. Your whole business will be better. My advice for having the best data governance and best data quality is it needs to come from the top down and bottom up. So there has to be an understanding across the entire business that good quality data is the foundations for your future success. So I think understanding what processes you have in place to ensure that quality is there throughout you're not relying on interns and junior buyers and junior merchants, but it is a fundamental cornerstone of your future success. Understanding that this is a living, breathing thing. So it is a constantly evolving taxonomy, particularly in the world of fashion, and then making sure that the governance. So again, as legislations are coming in around sustainability, particularly in Europe, that governance is really important. So making sure that the data you are collecting and that you are creating around your products allows you to showcase the transparency, the provenance, the whole process down the supply chain. So I think, and then making sure that you are empowering all of your teams to use that data and that data lens to drive efficiency through all of those different functions within your business.